The erased soldiers of Usu. Walk through Usu Military Cemetery in Accra, and you will find a row unlike any other. More than 50 graves, once marked with names and regimental badges, now stand stripped bare. Men with hammer and chisel came here, violently destroying the identity of soldiers who had already paid the ultimate price. Badges gouged out, brass plates unscrewed, names erased. Their stones remained, but their memory was deliberately attacked. This was not the polished line of Second World War graves, where fallen men of 1939 to 1945 are honored with dignity, their stones maintained, their names preserved. No, these soldiers died too late. After 1946, their deaths fell into the twilight of empire, into the years when the Gold Coast was no longer a priority for Britain, and so their graves were left vulnerable. Instead of respect, they were desecrated. It is a crime. It is a disgrace. Imagine the violence of it. Men with tools, chiseling through Portland stone, smashing badges that once carried regimental pride, erasing names that once carried family honor. Each strike of the hammer was not just against stone, but against memory itself. The soldiers buried there had already given their lives. And yet, decades later, their dignity was taken from them again. But among the erased, one grave still speaks. One soldier's name survived the chisels. Corporal Accra Robert, Gold Coast West African Headquarters. He died on February 14, 1948. His stone still bears his name. His badge still stands. He is the witness. Corporal Accra Robert's grave tells us what was lost. It shows us what those 50 others once had. Their names, their regiments, their dignity. And it reminds us that someone at some time chose to erase them. We do not yet know why. But we know this. It was deliberate. It was violent. And it was wrong. If those men had died earlier, during the war itself, their graves would have been placed in the neat rows of the Commonwealth War Graves Commission. They would have been polished, maintained, respected. Instead, they died after 1946, in the fading years of empire, and their memory was left exposed. They were soldiers of empire's endgame, and their grave became casualties of neglect and destruction. May Corporal Accra Robert rest in peace. His grave is more than a memorial. It is testimony. It is evidence. It is the witness to a crime against memory. And may the erased soldiers, stripped of their names and badges, also rest in peace. They died too late to be honored in the polished lines of the Second World War, but their sacrifice was no less. Their graves deserve remembrance. Their silence deserves to be broken. Remember them.